easy.
I love your background. It's great.
I decided instead of my messy den, I'd create one of the things I love the most. So
I love it. Actually, will be a podcast, so it's audio, but do you mind if I take a screenshot of you? I'll take a quick screenshot of you.
That's fine.
Put you on full screen here. I'm kind of a rookie at this, so you'll have to bear with me. Let's see, speaker view. There we go. There's a bigger picture of you. I don't need a picture of me.
Why not?
All right. Okay, I'll tell you when to smile. 1, 2, 3, smile right at the camera. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. How are you doing this morning? Thank you for doing this.
You know, I need to thank you because in preparing for this, because dates, are you kidding me? That was 20 plus years ago. No. But I have an album that has so many letters, so many articles. I kept, not everything, but I have a lot. And I went, oh my God, I did that. And I did. So thank you, Jen. I went down memory lane.
That's great. Yeah, it's to me, just talking to people. I spoke with Kendra Luke last week because the last day was Friday.
Right.
And I was so mad because right now I have our recording paused, but I thought Zoom automatically recorded. And so we had this really great conversation. We were going down memory lane. It was all this like great, it just felt so good. I was like, and then it didn't record. And I was like, oh. But I told her, I go, at least you're my guinea pig for everybody else, so I know what to do next time.
Okay, so a lot of past employees, all my age or older, get together about every 3 weeks on Zoom. And it's like, oh my God, so-and-so can't remember how to get in, or they can't turn their, yeah, right. So we get to relearn every 3 weeks. Yeah, that's great that you guys still get together. I mean, it's certainly, that's one of the things I love about working here. It's like the family feel and, like just, it really does feel like a family. And we'll probably talk about that a little bit during our interview, but just, for me, I'm a single mom. And, when that happened to me, I mean, I don't know how I would have survived without the district, and the people who were there. They're so supportive. They were there when, just my mom passed away, just all these life events, and everybody just rallies around each other. Susie is always, the first person to ask for help. And it's such an amazing group of people. And, I didn't even know Rec and Park industry existed before this. So to me, I was like, what did I fall into? I'm getting paid to do this? This is like amazing. Yeah.
So it's just been wonderful. So, but, all right. So, I'm going to attempt at an introduction. I might fumble over this a little bit. I'm new at this, so I might have to do a couple retakes. But basically, it'll just be a conversation, and it's going to record both an audio and and the video. But I don't think I'm going to use the video.
Okay.
All right. Let's see if I can press record here. I'm going to be reading my notes too. All right. Welcome to the 70th. See, I already. Welcome to Pleasant Hill Recreation Park District's 70th anniversary mini podcast series. My name is Jen Thoyts, the Clearly, I'm not a communication manager this morning because I can't get.
You can do this, yes.
Now, don't start me. Yeah, you're going to make me laugh. All right. Welcome to this. I'm rough this morning, man. I didn't drink enough coffee.
Oh, jeez.
Welcome to the Pleasant Hill Recreation Park District's 70th Anniversary Mini Podcast Series. My name is Jen Thwaites, the Communication Manager here at the district. In March, Pleasant Hill Recreation Park District continues our year-long 70th Anniversary celebration with this mini podcast series called Trailblazing Women in District History. This podcast will feature an interview with a past or current female Rec and Park employee who has really been a trailblazer for other women in the industry and who have made a big impact on the district's history itself. This podcast also ties in with our celebration of National Women's History Month. National Women's History Month is a month-long celebration to really acknowledge women's contribution in history, culture, and society. In today's podcast, we will chat with former employee Jennifer McGarry. Jennifer, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So to get us started, tell us a little bit about who you are and what role you had with the district in the past.
Let's see. I've worked for the district for 32 years. I was a swim coach for the district 26 years of that time. The way I started was I used to take my sons to the park, and then I signed them up for swimming. And I watched, the lessons, and I thought, why am I sitting here? Because I forever was a swimmer, and I could do this. Mm-hmm. So, I grew up in Ohio, mm-hmm. and I lived there until I graduated a year early from mm-hmm. high school, okay. and went off to Michigan State University, okay. where I also got to swim and dive for Michigan State.
Oh, wow.
And when I was in high school, I'm of the generation, there were not girls' sports. Mm-hmm. So you either had to be a cheerleader, which mm-hmm. I was. It was mm-hmm. as close as I could get.
Good.
And then I swam competitively for what they called at the time an AAU swimming program. It's now USS Swimming. Mm-hmm. Well, my husband and I left Ohio and moved to California in 1962. Mm-hmm. Well, it was 1976, I think. Oh, no, 1967 mm-hmm. when I had my sons enrolled in lessons.
Okay.
So the way I got my job is I went to the head instructor, who was the aquatics coordinator, mm-hmm. and I said, how can I do what you do? Mm-hmm. And she said, you take this class, this class, this class, and I'll hire you.
Oh, wow.
Guess what? I did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know. Let's see, I'm trying to come up with dates. In 1970, so the program at that time was just swimming lessons.
Right.
And lifeguard training. That was mm-hmm. it. And it was only 4 months out of the year. Mm-hmm. So in go ahead.
I was just going to ask, do you remember when the Pleasant Hill Aquatic Park first opened for the district? When did that park open? Do you recall when that date was?
No.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Were you taking swim lessons at that time? Your son was taking it at the aquatic park, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so you knew it was at least that old.
At least that old. And there was also a swim team at that time. Mm-hmm. And in 1970, I had been teaching, whenever I could. Mm-hmm. They put me on the swim team as an assistant coach.
Okay.
Well, 3 years later, I got asked to be head coach. And the reason I is I had gone away to Alaska for this summer with my husband because he worked for Chevron and he traveled everywhere.
Okay.
So in Alaska, of course, I found a swimming pool and started a handicap program for the aquatic center in Anchorage.
Oh, wow.
Well, because, why not?
Why not?
And I thought, when I come back to California, no way am I going to have a job. Well, all the other coaches had left, or anyhow, they weren't there anymore. Okay?
Yes.
So I got to be head coach. And since I had a family, I said, I can't do this alone. So I found somebody else, a guy, to co-head coach with me. And we did it together for about 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
And then he left. He got married. Then he left and whatever. But I found that this swim team was absolutely the most important thing to me. I just loved it.
What was it about it that you really enjoyed?
Well, the kids. I always was I thought I'd be a teacher. Well, I never got that far.
Okay.
So, a few years later, in 1980, I was asked if I wanted to be aquatic supervisor. Yeah.
Sure, why not?
If you look at all the qualifications, nope, didn't have them. But I had been there long enough, and to be honest, I wanted control of the swim team and when we could practice.
Okay.
So I said, yes, of course. Well, in that time, I created over 30 more various aquatic programs.
Wow.
And we went from 4 months out of the year to year round. I started a new Swim America program and left Red Cross because this was a competitive. So Jen, my life consisted of teaching little ones how to swim and then putting them on my swim team.
Okay.
Then hiring them to work as aquatic, lifeguards.
Lifeguards.
Yeah, and teachers and whatever. And continued on the swim team until they were 18. And when they were 18, they had to leave. But they could have a job all through school.
Right.
They were guaranteed that I would hire them back. Well, most. Hire them.
Few exceptions there.
Yeah, well, but they were great. So I got to see these children, and that's how I felt.
But that's it's wonderful. It's like almost raising your own children, really. And it sounds like you got the opportunity to kind of do the things you wanted to do within the parameters of, your skills and talents, and sharing your passion for swimming with so many kids, and just watching them grow and, giving them opportunities. And, that's quite an accomplishment. That's one of my questions for you was, some of your biggest accomplishments and, making such an impact on young people. I know my parents were lifelong teachers, and seeing the impact they made on so many children that struggled, and really helping them. And I think, by giving them an outlet like swimming and, something alternative that they can, grow with and learn from, and have a teacher like yourself that's dedicated and really, investing in the kids is just amazing. So, that's awesome. 30 programs? You started 30 or 40? Oh my gosh.
And I was instrumental in starting the Spirit and Morale Committee.
Okay.
Because we had a safety committee.
Okay.
And I have a thing about birthdays, service awards, and whatever. And one time I had reached, I think, couldn't even tell you, my 10th anniversary. And a friend of mine who was the account clerk for Pleasant Hill brought in cupcakes for everyone to celebrate 10 years with the district. No one knew.
Yeah.
And so I started this award program for every 5 years.
Right.
There was some award.
We still have that today.
See, and the safety, every committee I possibly could be on, because I wanted to learn. I mean, as staff, we volunteered for every, the holiday festival, the Easter egg hunt, and did we get paid? No. Did we do it because we loved it? Yes.
Yeah.
And you'd go to a staff meeting and be discussing finances. And you'd think, oh God, I need this and this, and I need all these things. But then somebody else would come in, like the senior director, and she said, we really need to be able to get this. So you back off, let them go. I mean, that's what families do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You take
help
care.
prioritize for each other and balance it out. Yeah.
So this group I meet with once, well, not anymore, except for Zoom.
Right.
We loved all of everybody.
Yeah.
You cared. It was your family.
Right.
And I included my sons. One was an amazing swimmer. The other one said, okay, fine, Mom. I'll swim for 2 weeks between soccer and baseball, but that's it. Then I had all 3 grandchildren on the swim team and had to pick them up and take them, and they're beautiful swimmers. So a little more part of me, my husband and I have been married 59 years.
Wow.
We have 2 sons, 8 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandchildren.
Wow.
Soon to be 8 great-grandchildren.
Congratulations.
So,
How wonderful.
Yeah. And I'm still in the pool trying to teach these great-grandchildren how to swim. It's so much harder than it was 40 years ago.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, it's such an important skill to have, just from a safety standpoint, and it's such a service not only to your own family to teach them, but, spending so many years teaching kids how to swim and be around water safely, is a huge contribution, for the overall community, I think, is to ensure that you have a safer community, if you will, of children that, one, are comfortable around water, and who, if they accidentally fall in the water, will, lower that risk of drowning, because I know that statistic is pretty high, and it's always awful to hear. And so it's, just incredible, contribution, to make for the community overall, I think, not just, personally and family-wise, but on a bigger picture as well. So that's amazing.
Well, go ahead.
So you highlighted a little bit about, how long did you work for the district? That's my
32 years.
Wow, 32 years.
Uh-huh.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you hear a lot about like the other employees, they start, like my sons, how I was introduced is my sons went to the preschool. Yes. And so they're now 16 and 13. Okay. And the 16-year-old is now volunteering in the summer camps for the last 2 summers. So he was in the preschool where he went to preschool. And it's so neat to see. It's like a full circle. And, he loves seeing his teachers. He still loves his preschool teachers. And, hopefully he'll get a job this summer again. So, to your point where you're talking about, you kind of worked your way in and then you kind of raise all these hundreds and hundreds of kids to do the same thing. It's such a great positive opportunity for young kids and young adults, and gives them kind of their first work experience and all that. And it's awesome. It's really great. So we found out a little bit like how you got started, what's your path to get there, some of your biggest accomplishments. Did we miss anything? I want to make sure we highlight them all.
Okay. The biggest accomplishments is years ago when Proposition 13, the tax change came, we almost lost the swim team because taxes were cut, funds were cut. So I organized a group of parents. We met as a parent club. We got all the, everything we needed to do to be a legal system for donations. And we made it through Prop 13.
Okay.
So the other thing is that, when was it? I'm trying to think. They were going to close Pleasant Hill High School pool or Pleasant Hill Middle School pool.
Okay.
We needed $650,000. It was 1999, the year that I was retiring. But I said, we are not losing that pool.
Yeah.
So the swim team and the community members earned half of that. Okay. We were able as a group to pass, I think it was Proposition A, which funded all the rest of the money for the pool. So
outstanding.
We kept, so yeah.
That's a huge accomplishment. Anybody who's tried to pass any bond measure, well, especially in this climate, it's incredibly difficult. So it certainly shows the support of the community for, recreation and swim programs and things like that. So,
well, this community is absolutely amazing. They support you, they care, they love you.
I agree. We've seen that with our bond measures, with Measure E passing that, and I think that's how Pleasant Hill Recreation and Park District started. Really, it's from a group of parents who wanted after-school programs for their kids and wanted some sort of recreation program. Like back in 1951 is when we started, and then it just kind of grew from there. So it's really been truly a grassroots origin, if you will, of how this special district even came about. So, and it's great that legacy continues with the continued support of the community, whether it's, your measures there for the pools and, saving the swim team and all that kind of stuff, to, supporting Measure E, where, we redid the community center, the teen center, the, senior center, and the park, that just shows just how amazing the community is and how supportive they are. So, I think we're really lucky here, and it's pretty unique. You don't always see that in cities these days. So, it's certainly nice to see. So, well, that's quite a big accomplishment.
Yes.
So with accomplishment, there's also a lot of challenges. So what were some of the challenges you faced throughout the years, and how did you overcome them? How did you keep inspired, to keep going?
the work I did is what kept me inspired. So if it was financial, I pulled on members of the community that years before had children that swam for me, and now they're older, and they also, were leaders in the city. They were board members, whatever. As I said, I started the Aquatic Pool Operators Association for District 3.
Wow.
For Park and Rec. And and I went to every, conference to find out what somebody else was doing. So if I had any challenges, no. You just went after it head on. I have to tell another story. I think he's now the president of CPRS. His name is Tom Hellman. His whole family swam for me. Tom did. He worked for me for years. And he'd be sitting on the edge of the pool instead of the lifeguard chair. And I'd say, excuse me, if you want to continue in this job, you need to get up in the chair. Okay. And then he turned to me one time and he said, someday I'm going to have your job. I said, not if you continue this way. Well, he went off to college. He called me one day. He was in Parks and Recreation. And he said, Jennifer, my teacher wants you to make a presentation. I said, really? Are you kidding? Okay. Didn't graduate from college. Okay, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
So, yes, he not only got not my job, but one even better, and he's continued in that. And I still have a relationship with so many.
Yeah.
Thank you, Facebook.
Yeah, that helps people keep connected, that's for sure.
It does. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it just, well, if you obviously made such an impact on so many people, you're going to still have those connections, and, it must feel really good to see as people go on and are successful and, continue their passion, or whether it's swimming or something else, just see them, see where they end up, that's like the ultimate reward of any teacher. And you're certainly, you say you always wanted to become a teacher, but obviously you became one, maybe not in a traditional way, but
definitely not, but
certainly in every other way possible. So Jennifer, what would your advice be for other women who are interested in pursuing a career in recreation and park industry, maybe specifically for aquatics? What advice would you give them as your
just to make sure you absolutely will love what you're doing. And I think anyone that I used to meet in the aquatic world, whether it was going to see, Mark Spitz speak. I also coached high school for 10 years. Oh, and I was awarded Honor Coach of the Year once for all of North Coast section.
Wow.
And I only trained the girls team. But Matt Biondi, another Olympian, was at Camp Olindo in the lane right next there. And I finally won because I coached at Carondelet, Camp Olindo, and then I thought, why am I leaving out College Park? So I coached College Park, and that's where I won the award. So
that's awesome. That is awesome. No, you've got to share that. That's amazing.
So you just keep moving, and you keep learning. Because I didn't come into the job knowing everything, obviously.
Right.
And I didn't have the education, but I had the leaders behind me. I had the means to go to various other meetings and conferences, and sometimes I had to pay myself, but usually the district would put up some of the money for me to go. So training is really important, and just meeting with other aquatic or rec people, didn't matter which division they were, whether it was the senior, because I also was in charge in the winter of the senior nutrition program.
Okay.
Because I was bored in the winter, at first.
Right.
And so you just use all the venues that you possibly can. And I did. And I learned. Thanks to everyone being my teacher.
So. Networking, keep learning. Those are all great advice. I know you wear a lot of hats when you work for either a small company, and in this case, in the district, you may have one job title, but you end up doing a lot of other things too.
Yes, accounting.
Which makes it fun, which makes it fresh and exciting. And if you like to learn, and you're a person that likes to learn new skills and meet people, and like you said, network, I mean, it's an ideal place to be, because it really gives you opportunity to do that. That's for sure. So, got to be driven like you, Jennifer. Inspire everybody to come in. So my last question is, who is or was the most inspiring female trailblazer for you in your life? As you inspire us with your trailblazing, who was it, in the past or even today that really inspired you?
To begin with, it was my swim coach, who was also a teacher. And I swam from the time I was 8 until I went off to college, and then swam there. And she was the coach I always wanted to be, because if I wanted to miss swim, I could be a full-rounded person. I could have singing lessons, dance lessons, piano lessons. I could swim. She helped make me a total person. And as a leader in the aquatics, that's what I wanted to do. Not just to make sure that these kids won every event. No, okay, that was great, and we had lots of awards. But I wanted them to grow personally, and to have good values, and to care about others, which they pretty much did. So I'd say May Looney, and how many years ago was that? Okay, a long time.
Her name was May Looney.
May Looney, yeah. And her brother was a principal at one of the schools, and I mean, I rode her probably 2 or 3 times a year as working in California, telling her what I did and thanking her. So the most important thing is to pay it back to somebody else. Or as they say, pay it forward.
Right. Pay it forward.
And I remember during aquatic training, staff meetings, one time I brought in about 200 ribbons. They were little, small, about 6 inches, and it said thank you on it. I passed them out to all staff, and I told them to give it to somebody, unbeknownst to who it was from, just saying thank you. So I do believe that thank you is really important.
Oh, it is so important. And when you meet people like yourself that do that, and it does inspire you to pay it forward. I think a lot of companies or people don't say thank you enough. So I think it's a tremendous thing, a legacy to continue on itself. So, any parting comments?
Oh yeah. In looking through all this, I found out that May 16th is proclaimed to be Jennifer McGarry Day. Now,
hey!
Okay, now Bob Bergeron gave me that. So, and that was the day I retired on May 14th, 1999. Okay. And so on the 16th, we remembered it for maybe 1 year, whatever.
Oh, that's great.
But it's okay. It's okay.
It seems very appropriate to have a day named after you, Jennifer, for sure, after talking with you.
But don't tell anyone, right? That's okay.
Well, I think the whole world's going to know now, so we'll have to celebrate on May 6th.
Okay.
I got it down. I have a note down right
here. Like I shouldn't.
Well, in the spirit of you, I just wanted to say thank you for, sharing your journey with us and, inspiring us to do this. It's like we talked about before, it's great to hear, about different employees and the contributions they made. It's so inspiring for current employees and just for other people to, and women specifically, to keep going. And, when you face challenges, some of the things you do and you network, you keep learning, you reach out to people, and you overcome those challenges, and you really, look for inspiration in other places if you're not feeling it yourself, and definitely pay it forward. So, and say thank you. So, on behalf of Pleasant Hill Recreation Park District, I wanted to say thank you.
Oh, thank you, Chet. It's been great. Thank you.
All right.
You have a good year.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, Jennifer.
Yeah?
I just stopped recording. I want to make sure that I'm not sure the first question might have got cut off. Thank you. That was awesome, by the way. Okay. Let's see. I'm wondering if our first question, if we should do it again. Or you tell us about how you got started. I can clip it in. Because I think it started recording halfway through. I'm such a rookie at this. I'm like afraid to stop. I don't want to mess with any recording.
Gotcha. Okay.
Should we try it again, like the first question?
I have no clue what I answered.
Okay. You know what? I think we'll just leave it as it is. Okay. And if we come in, I think it'll be fine. But I don't want to read it. There's a certain amount of you start getting on a roll, it's hard to split it up. So we'll just leave it as it be. And by the third or fourth one of these, I'll be like an expert at it.
Hey, you're doing fine. The questions were great. And as I said, it was a walk down memory lane.
Yeah. You've done so much. Oh my gosh. You've done so much.
But I have thank yous. I mean, Bob Bergeron, after something I did, he pretty much let me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. The general manager let me do my own thing. Did I have to ask the board to raise fees? No. I just raised them. Did I?
Yeah.
No. But he always sent me a card saying, thank you, great job, good presentation, whatever.
Yeah. So, it makes a huge difference. It really does.
It does. Yeah.
One of my friends works for a company and they never say thank you. They never it's always some marketing person like myself sending them a little something, which means nothing to them, versus your own supervisor saying, hey, you know what? You did a great job. I see you basically, or just, I don't know. There's so many times where people just
Well,
never say thank you.
the Spirit Award actually came from my husband. He worked for Chevron, and they had 5, 10, 15, 20, they didn't do much. I think 25, you did get a gold watch or something. But I thought, no, somebody needs to know how long all these wonderful people, and or
we still do it today, Jennifer. So we still do that today. And it's really nice, every 5 years. And it actually, it's good because a lot of times people get working in their jobs and you don't see what everybody else does. Right. So it's really a chance, because we still do like a little bio on everybody, and it gives a chance for everybody else in the organization to hear what they do and what their job is. And for me, I like it because I get to go to the different departments and work with the different departments. Right. But so many other departments don't get to do that. Like a parks guy is not going to go into the senior center, there's not a lot of interaction. So just having the awards alone is great just for that reason. It's like it really exposes everybody else to see their contributions and what they're making. And, I didn't know that. And I mean, I used to work in the Winslow Center upstairs with Andy O'Neill, and we were completely isolated. Totally. And, if I didn't have the job that I did where I went out, I'd have no clue what goes on anywhere, and it's not until I moved into the senior center and I got to see what they did, and I was like, oh my God, you guys are awesome. I mean, wow, this place is amazing. And, I wish I had this for my dad. And it's everybody always inspires me. And then working closer with Corey and, working on some of her stuff, we're going to do a triathlon, it's just and she's so
I adore her.
She is on top of stuff all the time. And I'm like, man, I want to be like Corey when I grow up.
Well, when she finally came in, I was so excited. Not that the supervisor before, but she came in ready to retire. She had 5 years she was out of there. Yeah. No one had known that. Yeah. And then Corey came in and a burst of light. And she's great. She's great.
On top of stuff, man. Yes. She's so dedicated. And so it's been fun getting to know her for sure. And, some of the programs. I had a chance to interview 2 youngsters from the Dolphin swim team. I was doing a project called Share the Love. Oh. And I was interviewing different people from different departments. Yeah. And so I interviewed these 2 little kids, and they just love the Dolphin swim team. I mean, their enthusiasm was so awesome. And, it was a little bit about the swimming, maybe just the actual swimming and competing. They like doing that, but it's all about everything else. Love they love swim meets because they got to hang out with their friends, and they just had a blast. It was just contagious. The one girl I forgot what her quote is. I'll send you. It's on our website, but I'll send you the article. It was just so cute, and it just showed. It totally highlighted why kids should do sports. They just loved it. And the mom, she piped in, and she was like, "Well, we love it as parents because it gives us a chance to socialize, right. And it's really
the families
connections."
When the kids opted out at 18, the family said, what are we going to do now?
Exactly.
We need to get together. They were so sad,
Yeah.
Right.
It's definitely, it's almost like a cult. My kids never got into swimming. Tally tried to get my youngest to swim, but he's actually a good swimmer. And he didn't bite, he started too late, or I don't know what his excuse was, but I'm hoping someday he might get back into it, because he is like a natural swimmer. Tallie's really wonderful as well.
Yes, so. She is.
Thank you so much for doing this. It's so much
All
fun.
right. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. I'm
awesome.
interviewing Julie Gianti
she's great.
on Wednesday, so I don't know if she's part of your group.
Oh, you see this mural in the back?
Yes.
She was one of the total volunteers.
Oh, wow.
This, she and Linda Neely, who's did work for the district, and Mike Stevens was my quote pool guy. And he was an artist. And a guy named Stan Wong would take leftover paint from the courtyard and bring me so I had paint, because I didn't have any money to do that.
Yeah.
So
it's beautiful. It's really nice.
So Julie was part of that.
Okay. I'll have to mention that to her.
A little bit.
Well, thank you again, and hopefully I'll see you.
Oh,
you
definitely.
Take care.
And I get your newsletters all the time. So.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Any feedback you have, let me know. Okay. Sometimes it's last minute. This year's been tough, trying to, everything is last minute. Everything is, a scramble. We have planned stuff, and then we can't do it. And just, printing of the spotlight, that's what I do. And so it's are we going to be able to print? Do we have enough content?
Yeah,
it's been, insane. So I'll be glad when things calm down a little bit. And it sounds like there's some good news on the horizon. I think our summer camps is kind of our first ray of hope, if you will, that things will go a little bit more quote unquote normal. So fingers crossed on that one.
Yes, definitely.
But you take care.
You too. Thank you for everything. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye now.